Hello, brothers and sisters of light and dark. Welcome to my face. My comments as I try to keep it down, then get it under 10 minutes. It goes on something very important and not important. The liberals, libertarians, people believe God, people like to smoke, people like to drink, people like Yo Arse, people like DMT. Woo! Ric Flair, baby. 80% of you masses asses should not be watching my videos. I do not seek validation, nor attention, or subscribers. But of course, if you like it, you can subscribe. But you're going to get me in trouble. Every click will get me in trouble. You'll get one of my YouTube pages pulled down. Motherfuckers. Right? Well, I gotta be a motherfucker, okay? I swear in my videos. I'm myself. I'm just being myself. Freedom of speech, motherfuckers. I don't break no rules. I'm a comedian. I'm allowed to make fun of anybody I want. You can make fun of me. Huh? Damn. Jesus. But I teach people all sorts of crazy shit that they should know, but you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. But let's get on with the subject now here. If you have any comments, questions, insults, or roast fest, you put it down below. If you have any comments, questions, because, you know, there's not a lot of smart people out there who like to ask questions. Okay? That's a fact. Just write it down below, and I'll get to you. And I'll make a video about it, and you'll be special. And we can do streams together, because I know how to do streaming too as well. This video is going to be about when to beat your children, okay? And when not to beat them. And how to discipline children. So as a matter of fact, I'm just going to name this motherfucking video. How to discipline your children. I'm pretty sure I made it in Martha's Nuts. 1, 2, 3. 3 is no longer. I told you. I don't know why Martha's Nuts 3 is down. I already told you before my credentials. Please read my shit before you talk. Ain't nobody like me on the internet. Alright. When you have children, the first thing is that most people are just irresponsible. They don't know. They don't have any education on how to raise children. 80% of people out there just don't. But moi, okay, happen to be around a lot of kids and the parents and white folks and black folks. I've been around a lot of motherfucking people. I was very quiet. My teeth was fucked up back in those days. When I was like 17, younger than that, 17 and younger, I learned everything I needed to know about parenting. Okay? Everything I needed to know, because I was always reading the niggas in Brooklyn, okay, Bed-Stuy, where I was raised. Yeah, PS 28, 324. And down, a little further down on the Fulton is 271. Yeah, I lived in Bed-Stuy, motherfuckers. I told you before. Please read my credentials. Don't run. Please read, okay? All right? Don't run your mouth. So what I learned is that all the kids, some of the kids will pick on me when I was in elementary school, PS 28, right around the corner. Howard and fucking Herkimer. All right? And then I realized my mom told me some shit. But my mom wasn't very good at being a parent. She wasn't. She was just very strict. She had some knowledge, but she always kept to herself because of her abuse from my grandmother, okay, which I love the best, okay, the most, okay, that she treated me differently, okay. But I'm not going to go down my long history of life, okay. So what I learned is that when you're being abused, because I was really being abused because I didn't really do nothing wrong, okay. I'm the white sheep of the family. Okay? I'm Jesus. I told you. I didn't have no sense. I didn't do shit. I didn't really like school. I told my mom this shit. She would abuse me, okay? But not listen to me. And I know there was some white folks who was trying to help me in my elementary school at the time, but they didn't give me a chance. So basically, they just left me alone. So I just happened to be a loner, got picked on, and I learned eventually how to bully the bullies, and I became more professional. I started using my noggin, using psychology like the white man, because black folks don't like psychology. They don't really like it. When you are abused as a child, you tend to learn not to abuse your children. Okay? But if you have people who have been abused, okay, and they want to abuse, that means they have a psychological problem that they can't continue with. So they have to vent out on their children. The best way to train children, in short, in general, straight right at the 5-minute mark right now, is to basically use psychology. It's not very hard. The first step is that they didn't hear you the first time. Okay, up your voice a little bit. Sometimes they don't hear you. Okay, maybe you want to play the 3-strike rule. you have to be nice. This is how men should treat women, but especially if you're an alpha, okay, like myself, which is very rare. You have to say one thing nice. You say it nicely the first time. And if it's not heard, you may need to raise your voice just a little bit. So a little bit more higher. And then you give a warning. Okay, so it's like a 3-strike rule. First time you be nice. The second time you raise your voice. And then the third time you take something away. Now, taking something away does not mean to abuse or whip. Okay, as I said before, I know white folks will agree with me what I'm saying here. And when you try to give discipline to a child physically, that's like a last resort. That's really like a last resort. You really don't need to put your hands on the child. Use any kind of materials or belts or whips or straps, so you don't have to do none of that. Okay? Think about the Jim Crow laws, okay? Back in the heydays. Use psychology. Okay? So you start talking, okay, and then somehow people just don't hear you. So you did warn them, and you got to make sure you record yourself too. If you need to, give yourself a leeway evidence of you did say something and it wasn't heard. You have to do it again because they weren't trained. Okay, so the first step is talking and speaking communication skills because they're around your vicinity, and these are things you need as a parent or a guardian or a leader or a boss, whatever. It's like at a job. The second time, you get a warning, okay? All right, you get a warning, okay? And the third time, something's taken away. That, something like, if you got gaming, my daughters love the games. They like to be on the phone and shit like that. That's a valuable asset. You could do this to women too, because, I know a lot of guys offer more things to women than women in reverse, rather than just use vaginas, okay? I don't do use vaginas, okay? But you guys are going to have to start taking things away. And the thing is that the person who's gotten the thing taken away, they will have nothing to do. So there has to be something else in replace of that thing so they keep themselves distracted. The more things you give a person, the more things you can take away, one at a time, until your needs are met. Now, if you take all these things away and they don't understand what they have done, or their raison d'etre is not kicking in on who they're hanging around, you may need to seek a counsel of a doctor to see if they don't have a psychological problem. Because I don't condone beating, or I've seen a couple of autistic children, okay, retarded, okay. But there's a way of handling them too. If you keep burning an autistic child, do you think that child will still turn that one way? It's like you draw a line, right? And you see a whole bunch of ants. Why those ants don't cross over that line when you draw a line in the sand? Why don't they cross over it? It's unknown because they see something there. So if you have an autistic child, I do not recommend putting your hands on the child, but there are ways of restraining that child so, you won't get out of hand. Especially they don't belong in the public if they are going to act out. All right? There's rules and regulations everywhere, so you're going to have to make sure that child doesn't break those rules and regulations in that vicinity. Now, to discipline the child physically with the belt or with the hand or something, that's like a last resort. Though, after you did your turn into the wall, you stand there and shit like, you a dunce and shit like that, and that shit don't work, maybe they have a psychological problem. Maybe that's your genes, okay? Maybe that's the mother's genes. It's good to do research on it. But the last resort is whipping, okay? Because I never really had to whip my daughters at all. I never had to put my hands on them. They learned quickly, okay? By my words and my actions. I do things to make sure it's very evident, okay? All right? I do this with everybody. I test the waters by using psychology. If you want to find out someone's sensitive, just use reverse psychology, or just try to say something ignorant to see how mad they get, okay? Because the more madder a person get, the more likely they can't fight or they've got no skills or anything like that. So take advantage of that dark psychology, using psychosis, certain forms of manipulation to get to understand the person before you get too involved. And that's it. That's all you really need to do. Wasn't that pretty cool and articulate? I articulated myself very well, clearly. But to each his own. Some people just go straight to beating because they don't know what to do with their child. All right, but that's the best way to teach your children, because lots of times you have to do these things in secret. You can't do these things in public because most people haven't been raised by proper fathers. They haven't been raised by alpha fathers. So if you go out there and you start spanking your child after you went through all of the steps, even the doctor, and your child is not autistic, da 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 da. Somebody may see they may think that you're abusing that child. So try to take them to the bathroom or some shit. Get them out from the public. You don't need to do all that shit. Get them out from the public, because the public is mostly what? Masses of asses. They don't understand. Okay, so now you understand how to raise your child, right? So I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know what I'm gonna do with this one. I'm not your average man. I'm not your Peter Pan. Yeah, I didn't say. What do you think I'm gonna say? I didn't say that. I didn't give you a hint. Okay, what do you think I'm gonna say? Because you know why? I usually didn't give a hint, but I just busted out with that shit, right? Most of you people out there are not therapists or psychologists. If you have no experience or backbone of being a therapist or even talking to psychologists or learning from psychologists, doing anything anecdotal wise, okay, research and development, human behavior, please, 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 please. You shouldn't be on here talking none of that nonsense. Come to me, check out my credentials, and we will talk from there. Other than that, don't be square. Don't be just in the box down here. Don't just, this dude is crazy, okay, If I kill your dog and your child, okay, and I go to court of law and say I'm mentally ill, what do you think the court is going to do? But please, peoples, always go to the source of the problem and ask questions. You learn more when you ask questions. All right? And you all have a nice day, okay? Peace.